may I introduce the Cockney rebel, Brenda Liskin.
Good evening, everybody. I've seen a couple of familiar faces here, but has anybody seen me work before? Okay, well, I'm what's known as a natural medium. It means that I was born with the gift, so, well, if you can call it a gift, sometimes it can be a bit of a curse, but there we go. I'm also a multi-sense medium, which means I can use all my senses, but I don't always, okay? So everything depends on how much energy there is in the room, how much energy there is from who we're communicating with, and how much energy is coming from the people down here, yeah? So if I come to you, a yes, no, I don't know, what a load of rubbish, I don't care what you say, but voice contact is very important, okay, yeah? And it's very good to maintain that voice contact. Now, as I said, I've been doing this since I was kind of about this high, been giving random messages to people, much to my mum's disgust, because at that time you could still be tried as a witch, okay? In fact, you could be tried as a witch up to 1952. So, you know, everything in those days was done behind closed doors. Didn't know anything about spiritualist churches. You know, I didn't even know they existed, to be quite honest. About the nearest we came to it was my mum told me she went to see Sir Arthur Conan Doyle at Royal Albert Hall. So when I got to about 15, I thought, obviously as a child I didn't have many friends, I was the weird kid. And when I got to about 15, I thought, I need to know what's wrong with me. You know, I really seriously thought there was something wrong with me. So, as I said, I didn't know about spiritualist churches, so I did the next best thing and I went and joined a coven, which it was quite good for nearly a year. And then one day they suggested that we dance naked around the bonfire, and that was it, I was out. From there, I started developing in my own way for a while, and I started getting these weird sensations, like my body was changing shape, my face was changing. I felt like somebody wanted to speak through me. So I had a word with a lady I knew who did, you know, mediumship and things. And she sent me to this lady called Ivy. And I went to her house. She had this great setup. She had a big summer house that somebody, one of her clients had paid for her. And I walked in and there was a circle of people sat there, and I made for the only available chair and sat on it. And there was this woman channeling some being from the planet Zog. Oh, seriously, she was. And she was relaying all this information she was getting, and then when she finished, Ivy said, right, we'll just close our eyes and see what happens. So we did, and suddenly I could hear this man talking, and I'm thinking, well, where's that coming from? And then I realised it was me, because obviously then I freaked out. And I opened my eyes, and this woman that had been showing me the person from the planet Zog, she pointed and she went, you've been consulting with the devil. And I turned around to see who she was talking to, you know. And then I realised she was talking to me. So I went, I haven't, honest I haven't. And then she said, you have snakes around you and they need to be removed. Well, I was off that chair and out that door. And I never went back, so that was that. And so most of my development has been self-development. I did sit in a friend's circle for a little while with my son. And the reason I did that was because I called it my me time. Because when I'm working and when I'm doing all this stuff, you know, everything is about, you know, other people. And very often, I don't meditate. I'm terrible, world's worst for, you know, things like meditation and stuff. All good intentions, but when it actually comes to doing it, you know, it's out the window. So I used to go to friends to do, on a Monday night, to sit in her circle just for me time. And we had something very, very peculiar that came through once. I was meditating, and I'm a big fan of Bruce Lee. I really was, yeah? And suddenly, Bruce Lee's come through. And he has said to me, and this is gospel truth, honestly, it really is. He said to me, I'm worried about my son. And he said, something bad's going to happen. And because when I come out of meditation, I told everybody, and they went, oh yeah, you know, but what do you do with that information? Because we didn't have internet then, you know, and you can't really phone somebody up in America and say, hey, your dad's just coming through, you know. I think it's some kind of lunatic. And about 2 days later, Brandon Lee died on the film set. And my friends were all phoning me up and saying, oh my God, you know, this has happened and that's happened. And the thing is, sometimes I do get some quite profound stuff. I mean, that wasn't one of the worst things I've ever had. The worst thing I ever had was a little boy that had gone missing. And he kept saying to me, he came to me when I was asleep, and he kept saying to me, they've wrapped me in a rug and put me in the boot of the car. And he said that he'd had a tooth knocked out. And of course, me not really kind of listening properly, I'm looking all over the map to see where he might be. I've got, for some reason or other, I've got a road name stuck in my head. I'm looking all over the map, I can't find it. But then, if I'd have thought about it, he said he was in the boot of a car, so obviously if he's in the boot of a car, they're going to take him somewhere. So it's no good looking around where he's disappeared from. And we went to do a psychic fair, and it was, to be quite honest, it was a bit rubbish. So we were sat there talking, and I started drawing something, and one of the other mediums, he said to me, what are you drawing? And I said, I don't know. And he said, it looks like a map. And what I'd drawn was a golf course. And there was like a lake, and there was a railway along the back, and then there was a church in the background. And I've got this road name that I kept getting on it. I've still got that bit of paper somewhere. And I kept saying, I don't know what you're trying to tell me here, I can't, you know. And then about 2 or 3 days, they dug up the parents' back garden. Yeah, and I kept saying, you're looking in the wrong place. I knew they were looking in the wrong place. And then a couple of days later, my friend sent me a newspaper clipping. She said they found that boy. And he's in Bristol. They found him on a golf course. Honestly, and the picture was what I'd drawn. Yeah, honestly. And, you know, it really does amaze me sometimes, the information we get. I know it's not me, I'm only the channel. But the information we get is so, you know, can be so profound sometimes. You know, and you just think to yourself, how? There's got to be something, because how do we get it? So anyway, I'm going to come to a few people, and try and link up to you and give you some messages. Now, I don't always get names. A lot of the time I get strange things, and you'll understand what I mean if I come to you, okay? So, right, where are we going first? Okay. Don't look so worried, everybody. I don't bite on it. If I keep wiping my nose, I do apologise, but whenever I'm doing this work, my nose runs, my stomach rumbles. I call it my psychic duties. Okay, so we just have to put up with it. Right, okay. Right, I'm in the middle here somewhere. Can I come to this lady on the end here, please? Thank you very much. Okay, as I'm drawing close to you, I've got a lady coming through from spirit here, okay? And she's telling me she had a lot of problems in the stomach area when she was here. Okay, she's coming through on the motherly vibration, so mother's side of the family. All right, yeah. And she's saying that, she said, I had a lot of discomfort, she says, but I don't think that's actually what she passed with at the end. Because I'm feeling, there was something higher in the body that caused her even more problems. Yeah?
Yeah.
Can you understand that? Yeah? Just simple yes or no.
Vaguely.
Yeah. As I said, she's coming through on a motherly vibration here. So we're looking at either a grandmother or a mother figure, okay? And she's also talking to me here about, she's saying, oh dear, she had a bit of a sweet tooth as well. Yeah, because she's talking about cookies. Yeah?
It's my mum, yeah.
Yeah? She used to like the proper cookies, didn't she, with all the...
She'd eat anything sweet.
Yeah?
It was like a kid.
And she's saying that... She's talking about, I didn't have a lot to leave, she said, but I left a few little bits and pieces, she says. And she's talking about some jewellery here, yeah? And she's saying that there was a little bracelet, wasn't there? Whose was the chain bracelet?
I don't know.
Okay, there used to be 2 rings, but there was only 1 ring.
She lost one before she died. I've got another one.
Okay, yeah. Because she's saying there was only 1 ring, but there used to be 2. And she's saying that she says, I just want to tell you that I am okay, because very often you think about her and you do wonder if she's all right now, don't you? Because as I said, she was in a lot of discomfort and a lot of pain when she was here, but she doesn't feel any of that anymore, okay? And she just wants you to know that.
Yeah.
And who's Charlie?
Don't know.
I don't think it's human.
No.
Okay, I'll tell you what, I'm going to move away from you because I think I've gone to somebody else now, if I'm not very much mistaken. Now, I had a cat called Charlie.
I've got one.
Charlie's with you, yeah? Okay. And as I'm coming to you, if I said to you that you went through a period of time where they were dropping like 9 pins,
Yeah.
somebody's saying, yeah?
Yes.
And they're saying that because you lost quite a lot, all in a short period of time, yeah? If I said to you, there's one lady in particular here who's coming through because she's saying that you've asked her to, yeah? On many occasions, yeah? And she says that I just want to let you know I am here, right? And the reason I'm here is because you asked for me, yeah?
Okay, yeah.
And she's coming through on a motherly vibration here, yeah? And she's saying that she actually, it's a bit peculiar this, because when she passed, they weren't quite sure what the problem was, were they?
No, they weren't.
Because there was so many things going on in her body that they weren't quite sure what she actually did pass with until, you know, they did all the exams, yeah?
Yeah.
And she's saying that, she says the thing is, she says, I wasn't in a lot of pain, but I just didn't feel at all well, she says.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can understand why she's saying that, can't you? Because she had trouble keeping food down as well.
Yes.
Yeah. And she's saying that, she said, and she liked her food as well, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the problem, because you know, she's saying that I just really couldn't eat anything properly.
Yeah.
And there's a big cat here, okay, sat on her lap. Okay, a big black and white cat. It's going back quite a few years. I don't think it was her cat.
No.
I think it belonged to somebody else in the family.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and it's going back quite a few years, so I think we might be looking at grandmother or that kind of
Yes.
era for the cat, yeah? And it was a massive thing as well, and not very friendly either. Okay? You'd stroke it and it'd bite you. Okay. Right, if I said to you that you've been looking through a lot of paperwork recently,
Yeah.
yeah? And I'm going to say paperwork because it's not like old photographs, it's like, it could well be things like birth certificates and that sort of thing, yeah? Okay? And I'm being told, you're sitting there and you're staring at one in particular and you're thinking, I'm not quite sure who this is.
Right, okay.
Okay, yeah? Because there seems to be some kind of discrepancy about the name.
Right, okay.
All right, yeah?
Right, okay. Look at that.
And if I said to you, you need to do some digging for that one,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, yeah? Because everybody else you know, and you just kind of, but this one you just, I'm not quite sure what this is doing in here.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You can understand that, can't you? And, oh, okay. Oh, I think Mum's taking me on a trip down memory lane now, because if I said to you, I'm stood at the back door of a house,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
and I'm looking out at the garden,
Yeah.
and as I'm looking at the garden, it's kind of like this side, it's almost like there's a path on this side, but that side seems to have a bit of grass and then some bushes and yeah, and then and it's quite a long garden,
Yes.
but there's something at the bottom that is kind of halfway across. I can't quite make my mind up what it is. I don't think it's a fence.
There's a hedge at the bottom, right across the bottom. There were sheds in front of it, and then there was a section that were vegetables.
Yeah, because it
Yeah.
looks like it's, you know, it's blocked off on one side,
Yeah.
and then the other
Yeah.
side goes back a bit further,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, and she's saying that she says, I used to like my veg patch, but then it got too much, she
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah? She said I couldn't do it anymore.
No.
She says the knees used to play up.
Yeah.
Yeah? She says I could get down there, but I couldn't get up again.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And she says that, and she's laughing now because she said she ran into a problem because she had one of those stool things that you kneel on. And she says, but I got on it and I couldn't get off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah? And she's laughing about it because she said she was literally stuck on it. Yeah? And she said, I couldn't get up, I couldn't get down. And she's saying, to be quite honest, she said, I thought I was going to be there all day. Yeah? And she said it was starting to rain as well. And she says that, okay. She says, you've got, she's talking about a watch here.
Okay.
Okay? But it's not her watch.
Yes.
That's right, isn't it? Because I'm a bit reluctant to say it's a man's watch, but it's bigger than the average.
It is, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So it's a bit like a man's watch, but it's
Yeah.
not a man's watch.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
She's saying that passed down from somebody close.
Yes.
Yeah? And she's saying, I wouldn't part with it.
Yeah.
And she's saying, I had a lot of loss, she said. Yeah? And she's talking about two people in particular that she was very close to. And she's also talking about a photograph of a man in uniform here.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And she's saying he passed way too young.
You did, yeah.
And she says that, she says, my first love, she says.
Oh.
Yeah? And she says, for a while I didn't think I'd be happy again. She said, but I was. She said, and I want you to know that.
Yeah.
She says, because that is very important.
Yeah.
And she says, yes, we had some hard times, she said, but she said, I did think the world of him.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And she says, you know, I just want you to know that.
Thank
and I'm
you.
going to leave you with that. And
Thank
thank
you.
you very much.
Thank you.
Right, I'm over here somewhere. Right. Is this my backache or somebody else's? Okay. Can I come to you, please, love? Yeah. As I'm drawing close to you, I've got a gentleman coming through here. Okay. And he's saying, he says, when I went, he said, I had a lot of problems in my chest. Yeah, you can understand that, can't you? Because he was struggling to breathe, yeah? And he's saying, but it wasn't just his chest, was it? He did have some problems with his back as well, didn't he? I don't think it was...
yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And actually, did he have a slip disc at one time? Because...
He had an industrial injury.
All right, okay, yeah, because I'm feeling as though it wasn't just an old age backache or something.
No.
It was
Yeah,
due
when it
to
was
wear and
manual.
tear. Yeah. And he's saying that. Oh, okay. He's saying, I keep trying to let you know I'm there, and you keep ignoring me.
No, I see him and he keeps hiding. I see him out of the corner of my eye and when
Yeah.
I turn he's gone.
Yeah, but you've got to talk to him. Yeah?
That's difficult.
Paul, even if it's just a hello.
Okay.
All right, yeah?
Mhm.
Okay. But he could be a bit difficult at times, shall we say?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. We'll leave it at that because we don't want to kind of go into great details, but he could be very difficult at times, couldn't he?
Right.
And he's saying, look, I'm sorry for that, he said, but I couldn't promise that I'd change because I couldn't. Huh? He says, it's just the way I was.
Mhm.
And he says, they're all here with me, he says. And he's talking about mum and sister. Now, it might not be his.
Oh, it might not be his.
No, because he's saying mum and sister's here. Okay? So I think he's looking at somebody here for you. Yeah? And it might be his sister, but mum is not his mum.
Not his mum.
No.
Would it be
Okay?
his mother-in-law?
It could be, yeah. Okay? Because they don't differentiate between mother and mother-in-law. And he's saying that you struggled to come to terms with losing someone, didn't you? Yes? And he says, I just want you to know that they are all right. Yeah? Because it took you such a long time to get over it and to come to terms with it. And he says, the thing is, he said it wasn't easy because it wasn't straightforward. Okay? Yeah? He says, and he said, in fact, it's still difficult now, and it's been a while, yeah? Because he says that, I'm being told, you're sitting there and you're staring at one in particular and you're thinking, I'm not quite sure who this is.
Right, okay.
Okay, yeah? Because there seems to be some kind of discrepancy about the name.
Right, okay.
All right, yeah?
Right, okay. Right.
And if I said to you, you need to do some digging for that one,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, yeah? Because everybody else you know, and you just kind of, but this one you just, I'm not quite sure what this is doing in here.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You can understand that, can't you? And, oh, okay. Oh, I think Mum's taking me on a trip down memory lane now, because if I said to you, I'm stood at the back door of a house,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
and I'm looking out at the garden,
Yeah.
and as I'm looking at the garden, it's kind of like this side, it's almost like there's a path on this side, but that side seems to have a bit of grass and then some bushes and yeah, and then and it's quite a long garden,
Yes.
but there's something at the bottom that is kind of halfway across. I can't quite make my mind up what it is. I don't think it's a fence.
There's a hedge at the bottom, right across the bottom. There were sheds in front of it, and then there was a section that were vegetables.
Yeah, because it
Yeah.
looks like it's, you know, it's blocked off on one side,
Yeah.
and then the other
Yeah.
side goes back a bit further,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. And she's saying that she says, I used to like my veg patch, but then it got too much, she
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah? She said I couldn't do it anymore.
No.
She says the knees used to play up.
Yeah.
Yeah? She says I could get down there, but I couldn't get up again.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And she says that, and she's laughing now because she said she ran into a problem because she had one of those stool things that you kneel on. And she says, but I got on it and I couldn't get off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah? And she's laughing about it because she said she was literally stuck on it. Yeah? And she said, I couldn't get up, I couldn't get down. And she's saying, to be quite honest, she said, I thought I was going to be there all day. Yeah? And she said it was starting to rain as well. And she says that, okay. She says, you've got, she's talking about a watch here,
Okay.
okay? But it's not her watch.
Yes.
That's right, isn't it? Because I I'm a bit reluctant to say it's a man's watch, but it's bigger than the average.
It is, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So it's a bit like a man's watch, but it's
Yeah.
not a man's watch.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And she's saying that passed down from somebody close.
Yes.
Yeah? And she's saying, I wouldn't part with it.
Yeah.
And she's saying, I had a lot of loss, she said. Yeah? And she's talking about two people in particular that she was very close to. And she's also talking about a photograph of a man in uniform here.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And she's saying he passed way too young.
You did, yeah.
And she says that, my first love, she says.
Oh.
Yeah? And she says, for a while I didn't think I'd be happy again. She said, but I was. She said, and I want you to know that.
Yeah.
She says, because that is very important.
Yeah.
And she says, yes, we had some hard times, she said, but she said, I did think the world of him.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And she says, you know, I just want you to know that.
Thank
and I'm
you.
going to leave you with that, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right, I'm over here somewhere. Right, this is my backache or somebody else's? Okay, can I come to you please, love? Yeah. As I'm drawing close to you, I've got a gentleman coming through here, okay? And he's saying, he says, when I went, he said, I had a lot of problems in my chest. Yeah, you can understand that, can't you? Because he was struggling to breathe, yeah? And he's saying, but it wasn't just his chest, was it? He did have some problems with his back as well, didn't he? I don't think it was...
yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And actually, did he have a slip disc at one time? Because...
He had an industrial injury.
All right, okay, yeah, because I'm feeling as though it wasn't just an old age backache or something.
No.
It was due to wear and tear. Yeah. And he's saying that. All right, okay. He's saying, I keep trying to let you know I'm there, and you keep ignoring me.
No, I see him and he keeps hiding. I see him out of the corner of my eye, and when I turn he's gone.
Yeah, but you've got to talk to him. Yeah?
That's difficult.
Paul, even if it's just a hello.
Okay.
All right? Yeah? Okay. But because he could be a bit difficult at times, shall we say?
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. We'll leave it at that because we don't want to kind of go into great details, but he could be very difficult at times, couldn't he?
Right.
And he's saying, look, I'm sorry for that, he said, but I couldn't promise that I'd change because I couldn't. He says, it's just the way I was. And he says, they're all here with me, he says. And he's talking about mum and sister. Now, it might not be his.
Oh, it might not be his.
No, because he's saying mum and sister's here. Okay? So I think he's looking at somebody here for you. Yeah? I mean, it might be his sister, but mum is not his mum.
Not his mum.
No.
Could
Okay?
it be his mother-in-law?
It could be, yeah. Okay? Because they don't differentiate between mother and mother-in-law.
Right.
And he's saying that you struggled to come to terms with with losing someone, didn't you? Yes? And he says, I just want you to know that they are all right. Yeah? Because it took you such a long time to get over it and to come to terms with it. And he says, the thing is, he said it wasn't easy because it wasn't straightforward. Okay? Yeah? He says, and he said, in fact, it's still difficult now, and it's been a while, yeah? Because he says that, you know, you keep asking yourself why. Yeah? And sometimes there is no answer to that, sweetheart. Because, you know, very often people get taken from us, you know, and there isn't really an answer as to why.
I was taken from it twice.
Yeah. Okay. And it is very difficult, isn't it? I know. But rest assured that they are still with you and they are still around you.
Oh,
Okay? And that is the most important thing.
mm-hmm.
Yeah? Because at the end of the day, you know, it's not the end. Yeah? Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They're still with us, not in the same way that they would be if they're here, but they are still with us.
I see him occasionally.
And it's there. Okay? And I'll leave you with that.
Thank you.
Thank you. They're playing about with me tonight. I've got a Mandy. I don't know if that means anything to anybody. No? Okay. Yeah. For you, love.
Well, in family, I've known this Mandy.
Oh, you know Miss Mandy. Yeah, that's fine. It's okay. Because somebody was shouting out Mandy, so okay. Right, okay, as I'm drawing close to you, there's a lady around you as well, okay? And she's saying that, to be quite honest, you're very similar in looks to her, yeah? And she says, but she said, I used to like to get my hair done every week, yeah?
Yeah.
And she says that, she said, we might look alike, she said, but our temperaments were totally different. Yeah?
Yeah.
Because you're much more easygoing than she was. You know, she wasn't afraid to speak her mind and say what she thought. And sometimes it could be a bit cutting, couldn't it?
Yeah.
And she says, the thing is, she said, I've been gone a while now, she says. But she said, I can still tell you when, you know, when there's something that you're doing that is not right. Yeah?
Yeah.
Because very often you do, don't you? You do something and then you think, oh, she didn't like this.
Yeah.
Yeah? And she says that she's struggling a bit with her breathing here as well. Because she's saying that she used to get very short of breath, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do feel that it was very probably heart condition with her, but laced with other things as well. But I think, you know, she did have a bit of a heart condition, didn't she? That's why the breathing was so bad. But she's saying when I finally did go, she said, it was a combination of things. Okay, yeah? Because she says that she wouldn't listen to anybody, would she?
No.
She always knew best.
Yeah.
And the thing was, that was her downfall because, you know, she was told to do certain things and she wouldn't do them.
No.
And she says, but she said, you know, the thing is, we've only got one life. She said, so why not enjoy it?
Yeah.
Yeah? And she says that you've been thinking a lot about people that have passed recently,
Yes.
okay? And if I said to you, there's a gentleman in spirit as well,
Yeah.
and you've been thinking a lot about him recently, because there's a birthday or an anniversary round about this time,
Yes, there is.
okay? And he's saying that I do try and let you know I'm here.
Yeah.
He says, but you know, sometimes you kind of shake your head and you know, no, it's not possible. Yeah? And he says, I'm just popping in for a cuppa.
Yeah.
Yeah? And ginger biscuits. Yeah?
Yeah.
Can understand that. And sometimes partial to a bit of ginger cake as well.
Yeah.
But mostly ginger biscuits. Okay? And he says, always nice dunked in a cuppa.
Definitely.
And who had the little dog was like it was like a hairy thing about this big browny and creamy.
Oh, that
Colour.
was a stray dog years and years and years
Oh,
ago.
okay. Yeah. It was a right rough looking thing,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah. But it's there and it's walking along beside him, so you know. And he's saying that, he said, I don't mind, he says, I'll look after it. Because the thing is with him, he could be very generous in that kind of way, couldn't he?
Yeah.
You know, he liked to take care of people who, you know, who weren't quite as, I'm going to say as well off as him, but I don't mean financially.
Yeah.
Okay? And in fact, he was totally different to the lady in question because
Yeah.
she, you know, she ruled the roost. And he's saying that, and for some reason or other, he's taking a cap off and scratching his head.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, because he did wear a cap sometimes,
Yeah.
didn't he? But he's saying, but it used to make me head itch. Yeah, and that's why he didn't wear it often, but he did wear it sometimes, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think especially in winter time when it was a bit cold. And he's saying also that he's talking to me about working in a dusty environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's saying it got on his chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he says that didn't matter what I did. He said I couldn't shake it. And he says, but he was always busy, wasn't he? Always doing something.
Yeah.
Because he was very good with his hands. He could kind of turn his hand to almost anything. Yeah, if he needed repairing, he'd do it.
Yeah.
And he says that he says I didn't go in for any of this jewellery lark or anything, he says. He said people bought me things, he said, but they all went in the drawer. Okay? But there is a watch of his.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I said to you it works sometimes,
No, that watch is no longer with us.
okay. Who's got it now?
Don't know.
Oh, okay. All right, so why are you telling me what? The watch in question, it started off on a strap and then got put onto a
Yeah.
bracelet, yeah? Okay. And I think that's why he took it off, because it would work sometimes and it wouldn't work at other times,
Right.
yeah? It worked if you shook it. And I think that's why I took it off. But it's gone missing completely, has it now?
No, it was what my mum bought him.
Alright.
He died with it on his wrist. And she told my grandma to keep it safe, and she didn't. She just gave it to throw it out with rubbish.
Alright, okay. Alright, so that's why it's no longer with us anymore. Alright, because as I said, because I mean I can see the watch,
Yeah.
and you know, I know that he did wear it, but I know that it
wouldn't
didn't
take it off.
It didn't work properly sometimes. And he says that actually Grandma threw a lot of stuff away, didn't she?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he's saying that there were a lot of personal items that disappeared as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not just from him, but from other people.
Yeah.
Okay, because I do believe there was some stuff handed down from his dad.
He would be.
And he's saying, and that just, you know, she wasn't good at keeping anything. And he wants you to know that he says, I know you've been going through a hard time. Yeah?
Yeah.
And he says, just keep your chin up, he said, because it's not going to go on much longer now. All right? And he says, you're made of stronger stuff, he says.
Definitely.
All right? And I'll leave you with that. Thank you. I mean, he's playing up now. Can I come to the lady in blue on the back row, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. Right, as I draw close to you, I've got a lady here and she's saying to me, tell her to stop messing about and get on with it. Okay? Because she's saying, you've got some decisions to make. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And she says, so don't, you know, don't hang about, get on with it and do it. Yeah? Because she says, you'll be sorry if you don't.
Yeah.
All right? And she's talking to me here and she's saying that all right, okay, all right. She's saying that I've got to tell you that those photographs you're looking for, they're in the bottom drawer.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And she says they're underneath the tablecloths.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah? Because she says you've been looking for those photographs for ages. She says and they're in the bottom drawer underneath the tablecloths. And she's talking about photographs in particular. You were looking for some when you were younger.
Yeah.
Yes? Okay? And she's saying that's where they are. So she says, when you get them out, she said, there's some in a small album,
Yeah.
right? And she's talking about, and they've got sleeves, the small album, hasn't it? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah.
And we're talking about turning over 1, 2, 3, 4 sleeves, and then there is a picture there facing you, and it's a man and a woman, and they are stood in a front garden,
Yeah.
in front of the house, okay? And the house is I want to say it stands alone, but I don't think it does. I think it's more that there's just a gap in between that and next door.
So living in semi-detached.
Yeah, yeah. But there's a gap one side, isn't
Yes,
there?
yes.
Which has got a bit of grass going round the side of it.
Yes,
All right, thank you. Okay.
yes.
And also, as I'm looking at the house, and what significance is the number 9? It's not a 9 on its own though, there's another figure with it, but I can't make out the other figure.
119,
Okay,
that's what she lived at.
okay. Because I couldn't make out the other figure, because it was like
Yeah,
dirty,
yeah.
and I can see the 9. And as I'm looking at it, the door, it's a dark colour,
Yeah.
okay? I'm not quite sure what colour it is, because first of all I thought it was a dark blue, but it's not. It's more like a grey.
Rusty browny colour.
A what?
A browny
A
colour.
browny colour.
Yeah. A rusty colour brown.
I'm not going to make it fit, but it could be. It could be. It looks a bit kind of sort of like dirty grey.
Dirty.
It could have been, it could have been.
I'm not going to make it fit. If
No.
you say it's brown, it's brown. Okay. And somebody's moaning here about the grass being too long. Yeah? Okay? And so, but it used to be a bit of a thing, didn't it? Used to cut the grass, it's too long.
I don't know.
Okay. But he's saying she's nagging me.
Probably.
Okay, yeah. And he just wants you to know that he is okay, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah? Because he says that, he says, when he was here he said he had a lot of problems,
Yeah.
yeah? And he's saying, I'm not just talking about 1 or 2, he says, you name it, I had it. And he says, and in the end he said, I was just glad to go. Yeah? And he says, but he said, having said that, I didn't want to leave everybody behind. Yeah? But from his point of view, I think it was a relief. Yeah? Okay? And he just wants you to know that he's still around you though. Okay? And that's why he wanted to show you that picture. Okay?
Okay.
Because he says, just to let you know that it is him.
Okay.
Okay? Because he says, how would you know, or how would you know about the picture if it wasn't him? Okay? And I'll leave you with that, thank you.
Thank you.
So anybody who's not already had a message, does anybody fancy doing a drawing or a doodle? No. Yeah, okay, I've got 4 here, so we'll go each side, and we'll also do something else as well, so I'll give one over here. Try and make this chair. Pen there as well. There was one down the back here somewhere, wasn't there?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, there is a pen on there, yeah. Anybody else on this side?
Yes, I do.
You'll do one. Alright, okay, no. That's it, one, please, thank you. And one more on this side. Come on.
Where's what?
Don't matter anything, right? Meanwhile, while they're doing that, anything, but no conferring. It's got to be your own work, because otherwise it won't work. Yeah? Okay? So it's got to be your own drawing. Nobody else's input. Okay?
You can draw anything.
Right, while we're doing that, if anybody, again, who's not had a message, has got an item of jewellery that I can hold, I've got one in the front here, okay. I can't get off. Right.
I spoke to her here.
So as I'm holding this, it said to you that there's a lot going on around you at the moment, and because I don't know, I'm feeling a little bit kind of stressed here, yeah? Okay? And it's as though there's a lot of changes are coming about. And because it's some of them, you know, you want to do, but some you're kind of a little bit reluctant at the moment. Yeah? Okay? But look, just go with the flow. That's the most important thing. Because stop trying to fight it. Because you know that you're being dragged in a certain direction here. So go with it. Okay? Because things will get sorted out and they will turn out okay, but just, you know, stop trying to fight it. Yeah? Because all you're doing is making yourself more stressed. All right? Okay, I'll leave you with that one, thank you. Another one over this side. Right, you were holding it up first, weren't you? So I'll go with you. I'll come back to you later. Okay? Right. As I'm holding this, if I said to you, I'm feeling quite emotional as I'm holding this, okay? And I'm going to say that you've been quite emotional recently, haven't you? And it seems as though there's something has just come up that struck a chord here and made you think about people that have passed, yeah? And I'm going to say to you, look, there's something going on at the moment, and you're not allowing it to take its own natural course. Okay? So look, stop trying to force things. Just take each day as it comes. Okay? Because what you're trying to do here is you're trying to do things too quickly, and because you're trying to do them too quickly, you're putting a block there. All right? And it seems to me that you keep asking them for help, don't you? Yeah? And they are listening to you. But like I said, they can only help you if you help yourself, right? But at the moment, you know, you're fighting against a lot of things. And sometimes you have just got to allow things to, you know, to pan out the way they're going to go, and then start trying to sort them out afterwards. Yeah? And also, you're thinking about embarking on a period of study or something. Don't say no, okay? Because there's something coming up that looks as though it's going to need you to either do some kind of short course or... Okay? Yeah? So just be ready to do it.
Yeah.
All right, because it will be beneficial in the long run. Okay.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, love. Let's do yours, and then we go back over the other side. If I said to you, you've been shedding a lot of tears lately, okay, and I'm going to say to you, look, it's okay to cry, yeah, because it gets all your emotions out there, yeah, and there has been a lot going on recently, and things that really and truthfully are out of your control, you know, there's somebody around you who, I don't want to say you're feeling disappointed, but I think that to a certain extent you are. And you've got to try to kind of take a step back from it. Okay? I know it's hard, but the thing is, you can't rule their lives for them. Yeah? They've got to do what they've got to do. And I know it hurts, and I know you feel that, you know, you want to say something, but the more you say, the more they're going to put their foot down. So I think it's about just taking that step backwards at the moment and just kind of letting it run its course and be there to pick the pieces up. Okay? Yeah? Because at the moment, you know, they're not going to listen to anything you say. And, you know, the crying is just about getting out your pent-up feelings. Yeah? Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Right. Anyone over here? That, right, so quickly. Right, as I'm holding this, I don't want to do it. Right? Yeah. That's the first thing I'm getting. I don't want to do it. And it's almost like you feel as though you're being pushed into doing something that you don't want to do. Yeah? And the thing is, they could drag you kicking and screaming and you'll still say no. But I'm going to say to you, you know, sometimes you've just got to allow yourself to go with the flow. Yeah? I don't know with you that there's a lot of spiritual stuff going on around you at the moment, okay, yeah? But you seem to be fighting that as well. Look, don't try too hard, okay? Because fighting it or not fighting it, sometimes if you try too hard it blocks it all. And I think at the moment what you're doing is, you know, you're trying to run before you can walk. Yeah? Yeah? But it doesn't mean you're not going to get there. It's just that take it a step at a time. And it will work for you. Okay? Yeah? There we go. Thank you. Right, how's the drawings doing? You done it?
Good at drawing.
Oh, right, okay. Right. I'm okay to lift this one up and show people. I tell you, one day I was doing this in a pub, and they'd all had rather a lot to drink. And there was one table with 4 women on it, and they were being an absolute pain in the butt. And one of the women said to me, "You've been avoiding my table," and I said, "I haven't." I said, "It's just that I've been going to who I've been drawn to, both, it was between 2 rooms." So I said, "But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get people to do a drawing or do, and I'll give you a reading from it." So she grabs the board and she does the drawing. And I said to her, "You done the drawing?" she says, yes. So I said, well, I just stood there and she's going, do you want to see it? So I said, well, that is the general idea, you know. So she said, are you sure you want to see it? It's about you. So I said, well, even more reason to see it. So I taken it off her and I went, and then I looked at it and went, oh, okay. She had drawn a very large male and all around it she put all these comments about me. And I don't know whether she expected me to burst into tears or to get angry or what. And I read them and I just said, well look love, I said it's your opinion and you're entitled to it. I said, but the irony is, you wanted a reading and you could have had one, but you've decided to waste it, you know, insulting me, so, you know, tough. So we do get some weird things, so don't worry about your drawings not being good enough, I've seen them. Right, we've got a house here with a tree with no leaves and some flowers in the garden. I'm not sure what that is. What's that?
Somebody sat down, I'm not good at people.
That's fair enough. Right, as I'm looking at this, I'm going to say to you that it's been a bit of a hard slog lately. Okay? Things haven't been exactly easy, have they? Because the path is long, and although it's not really bendy, it's got a bit of a curve in it, so it has been a bit of a struggle, and it has been a bit of a, you know, taken a bit of time. This here, which I presume is supposed to be grass, it looks more like waves. And if I've said to you that you've had to basically ride the stormy seas for a little while here, okay? So things are starting to get better now. The person sitting down here reading a book, right, I'm going to say you've been feeling just recently as though you wish somebody was still here with you. Okay, yeah? And they were a bit of an avid reader anyway, weren't they? Yeah? Okay. The tree without leaves, it's saying to me that, you know, you're branching out, you're wanting to do something different, but you don't seem to be, you know, it doesn't seem to be coming together for you, it doesn't seem to be very fruitful. But these flowers down here are telling me just keep persevering because, you know, the blossoms are there, it's just a matter of putting a bit of extra work in, yeah? This here, the sun's always a good thing because, and it's a nice big sun with plenty of rays. So I'm going to say to you that, yeah, you've been struggling and there's a bit of smoke coming out the chimney here, so I'm feeling as though, you know, there's been some times where things have happened and you know, you're not sure whether they're right or they're wrong or whatever, yeah? But, you know, sometimes there's no smoke without fire, yeah? But the sun being there is telling me things are going to start to get better for you, okay?
Yeah.
And probably within the next couple of months. All right, yeah? Do you want your work hard?
Thank you.
Have we got another one that's ready? Lovely. Okay. Oh, we have a church here. And a family. Okay. Now, this is not about religion so much as if I said to you feeling like you need a safe haven, okay, yeah, and I don't think it's that there's particularly anything dreadful going on in your life. I just feel as though you know there's been ups and downs, and there's been a lot of things going on outside of the home. And it's kind of, do you know what, I just want to get inside and just want to put my feet up and just be with my family. I don't want to, you know, I just want to shut the door and...
I don't have any family.
No, yeah, but it doesn't matter whether it's physical family or...
Oh, I have animals. So
Yeah,
they're my family.
yeah, okay, yeah, because my animal's my family, yeah.
The animals are my
So I just want to be there, I want to be with my family, yeah. And it's kind of like needing to be, you know, in that space where you feel safe. And there's nothing more than an animal cuddling up to you to make you feel safe. These houses in the background here, it's kind of like, do you know, sometimes I don't want to have people too near to me.
all the time.
Okay, yeah. And you want your space, okay? But this gate here, you know, although it's closed, it's kind of like there's opportunities opening up. And for some reason or other though, you're holding yourself back a bit. And I think it is because you're a little bit scared of you know, where it's going to go. But don't be. Alright? Because it is good for you. And you only need to be with the people you need to be with.
Exactly.
Alright? Yeah?
Yes.
So don't worry about that side of it.
Okay.
Because I think that's what's kind of making you a bit wary, is the fact that, do I have to mix with other people that I don't want to be around? No, you don't.
Thank you.
Okay? Alright?
Thank you very much.
Do you want your work of art?
No thanks.
No?
Very well.
Right, where's that work of art? Why is it not work of art? All drawings are work. Right, now here we have a see-through box, a heart and a big flower. Now, as I'm looking at this, it's kind of like, it said to you that sometimes you feel as though you're a little bit too open about things. Yeah? Okay? Because sometimes you know, you open up about things and then you think afterwards, why did I do that? Yeah? And I think this is what the transparent box is about. It's kind of like you know, you feel as though you want to keep yourself closed in, but it's not in your nature, because you are a very open person, and that's why the box is transparent. Okay? The heart here, you do love very deeply, yeah? And you are always ready to, you know, to give your heart to somebody, yeah? Or something. But you're also a little bit wary where that's concerned, because you've been hurt in the past. Okay? So now it's kind of like, you only give half of it. The other half is, yeah? Is held back. But it doesn't mean to say that, you know, that people aren't going to give their hearts to you, because you've got no control over that side of it. This here, the big flower with all the big petals and lovely big centerpiece here, it's telling me that there's something going on around you at the moment that is absolutely blossoming, right? You're thinking about, you know, maybe embarking on something a little bit different, okay? It will be good, it will work for you. But, you know, stop worrying about, we've got a feather here as well. Stop worrying about where it's going and just go for it, okay? Because it will work. Don't hold yourself back because you're worried about where it's going. The feather here, That's a very spiritual thing, so I feel as though there is quite a spiritual element with you, okay? And the thing is though, sometimes you try and hide it. You may not think you do, but yeah, okay? Especially around certain people. Okay? Because it's very faint, you see, this feather. So it's almost like you're holding yourself back. Don't. Okay? Yeah? Oh, do you want your picture, by the way? And we've got one more somewhere. Lovely, thanks. Oh, right, okay, this one looks as though it's on a beach. And there's a big rock here. Here we go. Right. I'm looking at this boat here and you're sailing in the wrong direction. Okay. Because it's almost as though you put a block here, right? Because you're afraid to move forward. Yeah? But look, stop worrying about all that, because things are, you know, they're going to move whether you like it or not. Yeah? Here we've got a lot of children playing on the beach, and a little dog, and an umbrella. And what I'm going to say to you is that for some reason or other, it's almost like you're surrounded by children. Okay? And if not in a work situation, then you know you've got a lot of children around you in your home life, yeah? Okay? But I do feel that there are some changes coming about here. Either a change of career, okay? Not sure about that one. Because why I'm saying that is because, as I said, this boat here, you do sometimes feel like you're going in the wrong direction. Okay? And I think that's why there's changes coming about. Yeah? Okay? Don't try and stop them. Don't matter how big a boulder you put there, you're still going to have to do it. Yeah? Okay? So stop putting obstacles in your way. Yeah? Okay? And again, the sun is telling me it's going to be good. There's lots of birds flying here. So I think sometimes you wish you could just spread your wings and fly away. Yeah? But like I said, things are going to start to go in the right direction. It's just that you mustn't keep putting that pressure. Be prepared to go for it. Okay? Yeah. How long we got? We okay?
15 minutes.
Okay, good night. I can do a couple more bits of jewellery.
I was reading it. No way.
I can hold it while it's on you, but if you're warned, I'll probably throttle you. Because I've got a terrible habit of moving about. Okay. As I'm holding this, if I said to you, I feel that sometimes you kind of, you can be a little bit stubborn, and you can put your feet down and you know, just kind of anchor yourself. Yeah? And I do feel though that sometimes you're stopping yourself from from other opportunities that are rising up. Yeah? And I don't think it's just the stubbornness. I think that you are a little bit worried about moving away from anything that feels a little bit secure. Yeah? Okay? And I'm going to say to you that there are some opportunities coming up, and I would not turn you back on them. Okay? This seems to be work-wise especially. Okay? Because you've been thinking for some time about making changes, but every time that you think about it, it's no, I'll just stay where I am. Okay? But don't hold yourself back. Okay? Because you know there's other things you want to be doing. And I think it's time now to start moving in that direction and start doing them. Okay? Yeah? All right? Okay. Do we have another one over here? Oh, no. Right, I'm holding this. If I said to you that okay, I'm getting a few different things coming through here. I've got someone coming through from Spirit who is telling me that they had a lot of problems in their chest. Okay, and if I said to you they've been a bit worried about you recently. Okay, because they're saying you've not been taking care of your health the way you should. Yeah? Because there's been so many things going on around you, and you're always putting other people first. So now it's time to put you first for a change, because what they're going to do if anything happens to you? Well, exactly. So you've got to look after you so that you can help them. Okay? And that is most important. And if I said that there's two people around you in Spirit here, one's male and one's female. Okay? And to be quite honest, they're arguing about who's going to go first here. It's okay, she's going to win because she was always the stronger of the two. It's a lady coming through here, and she's coming through on a motherly vibration, okay? She might not be mother, but she's, just like a mother. And what she's saying is that you do too much for other people, okay? And across the board. It's not just about physically doing things, sometimes it hits you hard in your purse strings as well. Okay? And she's saying, you've got to stop it. Yeah? Because she says, you're not doing them any favours. Okay? So it's most important to look after you first. Okay? Alright? One more. Yeah? Okay. I'll do you, and if I've got time for one more, we'll have to toss a coin. Okay. As I'm holding this, I'm going to say to you that busy. Okay? And in fact, too busy at the moment. You could do with a bit of a break from it. But you're worried about having a break because, obviously, if you do have a break, then things are going to slump, and then you've got all the hassle of trying to build them back up again. So what I'm going to say to you is maybe not take a complete break, but at least give yourself some time for you. Because what you're doing at the moment is you're kind of running yourself ragged. So even if it's an hour or so, give yourself some time for you. Because if you carry on the way you are, you're going to make yourself ill. Yeah? Okay? And you know that already, don't you? Because you're feeling it. So stop doing that and start working towards being, you know, being a bit more sensible, and even if you give yourself an hour where you sit down, you do something that you enjoy doing, but what takes your mind off work. Okay? Yeah? All right. You're welcome. Right, okay. Yeah. I'll try and get you in a second if I can. Right, okay. Right, okay. As I'm holding this, it's quite strange actually, because it's, I don't know why, but I keep getting Chelsea. And I don't know why I'm getting it, but I keep getting Chelsea. And the only thing I can think of is because if I said that there's somebody around who's not being a team player at the moment.
Yes.
Okay, you can understand that, can't you? And I'm going to say to you that, look, it's quite all right to say no. Yeah? Because sometimes people just keep on and on and on and want everything from you. And it's got to come a time where you've just got to do the things for you. You can't keep on doing everything for everybody else. Yeah?
Yeah.
So do say no.
Yeah.
At least once in a while. You don't always have to say no, but try it once in a while. Because you're neglecting all your stuff to do everybody else's. Yeah? Okay? And what happens when you want something doing? Nobody there. So learn to say no, okay?
Thank you.
Right, we've got one more over there. Which okay. Are these from different people or all from one person?
From one person.
Okay, all right. It's just one of them feels different. Does one get worn more than the others by you?
No, I wear them all the
You wear
time.
them, okay. Right, as I'm holding these, if I said to you that there's a lady coming through here and she's telling me that I've got to tell you to slow down.
Right.
Okay? Because she says you're always on the go. And she says, you know, you'll meet yourself coming back one day, she says. And she's telling me that you also are not giving yourself enough time. Okay?
Yeah.
And she's saying to me that you don't always have to be a taxi service.
Yeah.
Yeah? And she says, just once in a while, she says, get somebody else to taxi you about. And she says also the person that you keep lending things to, it's time to ask for them back.
I'm confused with that one.
Okay. Who is it keeps wanting to borrow something or other?
I'm trying to think.
You do know. You'll have to think about it, because I'm feeling it's not somebody in the family. Somebody keeps asking to borrow stuff.
No idea.
Okay, all right, sorry, hold on. Let's see if we can find out. What was it about the hedge trimmer?
I borrowed my friend's hedge trimmer a few months back.
Oh, it's you, is it?
Borrowed my hedge trimmer.
Yeah, just about.
Okay, right. Time to give it back.
Yeah.
Hey, no arguing.
It might be husband, because he borrows and then he takes it back to her.
From my husband, yeah, so both husbands
Oh,
are
right, okay, yeah.
borrowing each other's stuff
All
and
right,
back
yeah.
again.
Okay, well there's something that's not gone back yet, so it needs to go back.
Lawnmower's just gone back.
Yeah, I've just
All right, okay. Anyway,
I think that's about it. You've got it from now.
like I said, just listen to them. Slow down a bit, okay? Thank you. There you go.